Right, so anticipated eyes, and of course, while you're having all the look and feel of the lovely platform, uh, the island feature and the look and feel is positively distracting, but at the same time, everything happens right there. So I'm sure you're not going anywhere, right? So we're going to be heading into a fireside chat, as I said, the growing brand loyalty. Will it be easy? Now, we've seen consumers, moving and switching brands just in the blink of an eye during the pandemic. Consumer behavior is becoming really unstable. Now, what do we do? Predicting consumer thoughts is something that's becoming a Herculean task, by the day. And this has impacted the loyalty of a brand, if we talk about. So gaining that trust back, it will be difficult, when the things go back to normal or even, in the present times. We have an array of experts, the best gentlemen on the forum who would be joining us. So allow me to please welcome Harish Narayanan, the Chief Marketing Officer from Myntra. Harish, it's a pleasure to be, seeing you in some time from now. Ravi Desai, Director Brand Marketing from Amazon India and APAC. A hearty welcome to you. With that, let's also welcome Kashyap Vadapalli, the CMO and Business Head from Pepperfry. Thank you, Kashyap, for taking the time out and joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite moderators and the best man out there. You know him well, right? He's going to be joining us, holding the strings of the conversation together. Ambi Parameswaran, the independent brand strategist, the brand coach, the startup mentor, the best-selling author, the TEDx speaker, podcaster, and so much. All these speakers have so much to their name. So Ambi, if you're all set, all charged up, here's handing it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shika. Am I audible? Am I clear? Okay, so good. So thank you for inviting me to chair this this very powerful panel full of young, energetic people. I bring some geriatric blood into this discussion, hopefully. So let me, brand loyalty is something which all of us, it's like the holy grail in marketing. And the good old lessons which I learned in direct marketing, which I don't know whether it's still true. That's the first question I want to pose to the panelists. Is that in direct marketing, we were told that the cost of attracting a new customer is 6.7, I don't know how they got this number, 6.71 times more expensive than attracting or retaining an existing customer. So I want to go with Ravi first and then move to Kashyap and then to Harish. So Ravi, your take. Has the number changed from 6.7 to 10, 11, or has it dropped? Yeah.
Thanks, Ambi, and thanks for inviting me for the panel as well. So, Ambi, to your point, I think from Amazon's experience, and I'm sure Harish will probably echo some of what I'm going to say, which is that as you market, let's take Amazon in my case or my team's case, what you are really trying to create is a behavior change. From the age-old buy it from an offline store near your home to actually ordering it online, right? So you're literally, in a sense, creating the category in a country like India. And just for today's audience, let's say we have 700 million people on the internet today in India, right? Less than maybe 150 million of them have actually shopped online at least once, right? So that's the kind of growth opportunity ahead of a new behavior like online shopping. And to that extent, coming back to your question, it is all about getting new customers, frankly, to online shopping, post which once they experience the benefit, the convenience, the safety of shopping from within their homes, they are now converted to becoming a hybrid shopper, an offline and an online shopper. And then the task restarts of keeping them loyal, if you were to use that word, to a particular brand or a marketplace of choice, right? So it's almost a two-phase journey where you're creating the segment in as much as you're attracting customers to your brand, and then comes the task of sort of retaining that franchise with yourself. So let me pause here and we can hear from the other speakers as well.
Thank you, Ravi. That was very insightful. 700 million people on the internet, only about 100 are buying actively on the internet, right? So your job is really acquiring customers. So you say hell with hell with customer loyalty. Or you didn't say that. You didn't say that. Sorry, I'm saying that. Let me go to Kashyap and ask his point of view.
Sure. So, as a marketer, you have multiple tasks. Obviously, customer acquisition is a task. You are going into the big bad world out there, competing with so many other people and trying to win a customer. I think, like I said, it's a slightly wilder world out there. When you're going in for acquisition, you have less information. You are potentially competing for attention in a very crowded marketplace. And you're trying to drive that user to convert with you. On the other end of the thing, when you're talking about customers whom you previously acquired, and when you use words like retention and loyalty, I think you're really talking about how do customers who you previously interacted with or acquired, how can you get them to do more with you? As simple as that. Here, I think obviously some things are different. You know more information about them. You know what they've bought previously, what they've browsed previously, which category were they more interested in, and potentially you have some direct communication channels with them in terms of maybe their email ID or phone number or their app. Your app is installed with them, and I think obviously there's more information, there's more direct communication channels, so your ability to kind of get them to convert with you once more should be easier. Okay, so I'm saying that is it really a choice? I mean, it's not as if you can stop acquiring customers.
Kashyap, is it 1:6? What is the cost ratio? Retaining customer versus new customer. Is it 1:6.7 as the gurus told us?
No, I don't have a number for there. I can just say that it's possibly easier because you have more information and more direct communication channels, and that's there. That's where it is. So I won't hazard a guess on the ratio.
Okay, thanks, Kashyap. Now over to Harish now.
Thanks, Ambi, for having me. It's always a pleasure, and it's great to meet other leaders and practitioners in the industry. So I always love these kind of opportunities. So thanks for having me. I'm going to change the question a bit, Ambi, if you allow me to. Is loyalty important? We'll all agree it is, right? So I don't think there's a debate on whether loyalty is important. Should we keep our most loyal customers very happy? I don't think there's a debate on that as well. I think this question is very deliberately posed on marketing spends, or even if I make it even more sharp, it is about media spends. Should we spend media money on loyalty, right? Maybe that is the question we are trying to answer. And again, I'll take a few steps back. Fortunately, I happen to have the loyalty charter also at Myntra within my team. The Myntra Insider program is something that my team manages. So the way I look at it, I don't have a number, but I would actually estimate that it's more than 6 times, more than 6.7, right? Losing a loyal customer to someone else is, I would say, is actually much more expensive. And the task of building loyalty is just not on media spends or marketing spends. It is the entire company's effort, right? The way we treat them at every moment of truth, as we would call it in the marketing parlance. When they come to us first time, when they receive the first packet, when they experience the first return experience, when they mention us to someone else, all of these touch points are important for loyalty. And when we keep our most loyal users very happy, they tend to disproportionately reward us. And we have seen this time and time again. Our most valuable customers tend to be multiples better than the average customer in terms of revenue per customer, returns, betterness, and so on, all the metrics you think about. So the way I think about brand loyalty, I think it is extremely important, if not the most important task. The marketing spend can be spent entirely on bringing new customers because, as Ravi rightly said, it is a very, very small penetration of our industry. So, for example, online fashion is less than 6% of fashion spends in India. So there is infinite headroom to grow in this country and give users a fantastic experience. But at the same time, the non-marketing efforts of the same team should heavily go into keeping these users extremely happy. So we do things like Myntra Insider Masterclass, where we bring the best stylists in the country to actually teach our insiders how to style better. We have the best offers for them when it comes to a sale like end of reason sale. We have the best return policies. We have the easiest communication channels. So the way I would answer the question, I mean, bringing it all together, I think engagement and loyalty and keeping the best customers very happy, it is a very, very critical part of a marketer's job, to take Kashyap's title, right? A business head's job. We may not spend pure media money behind it, but it is a critical part of my role. And if I would place equal emphasis on both of these things.
Okay, good. So we are at an interesting point. So let me come back to Ravi, and I think Ravi made a statement about the focus of marketing is not only to retain customers, especially when your penetration is so low. It is about attracting new users to your platform. So before we get into that exact topic, I want to ask, because Ravi has spent a lot of time, not just in Amazon, but he spent time in FMCG. He has walked the roads of India selling biscuits and chips and all that. So I want to ask him a slightly broader question. Compared to a decade ago, Harish, I think is too young to answer this question, but I'll pose it to him also. But compared to a decade ago, with multiple offers, multiple platforms, multiple retail touch points, is this entire business of customer loyalty, brand loyalty a bit overrated today? Ravi?
Interesting perspective on that one, Ambi. I think the definition of brand loyalty, has changed, like anything would, and in a country like India, with the customers and the pace of change that customers in our country have seen, especially with technology becoming such a large part of their lives, right? It's in a sense easy to sort of dismiss the whole concept of loyalty. In the last decade, as you called it, the number of offers, the number of ways in which customers can solve a particular need has just exploded, right? And let me give you a definition from our world, or a context or a case from our world. Now, if you think about Prime as a program where customers become a part of, Prime as a multi-benefit program in the country, what are we actually serving customers, right? You could argue, if you're a shopping-oriented customer, that you're making my shopping experience even better. It's becoming more convenient. The stuff will get to me faster. You might have celebrations like Prime Day, where I'll be the privileged set of customers to avail of offers where others don't get access to it, and so on. If you're a streaming-oriented customer who is used to watching, content online, and that drives you to become a Prime member, the solution that the same program is offering you now is very different, right? It's actually taking care of idle time. It is taking care of your entertainment needs. It is taking care of your knowledge needs. There are multiple kinds of genres of content available on the single platform. So I think the whole idea of how do you even see what you are in the business of selling? What is your product? What is your service? Has morphed today than what it used to be. And I think service brands probably have that bigger challenge as compared to product brands back from my CPG days. Now, you were selling a biscuit, and therefore you defined your category as a category of biscuits. You thought a little broader and said, no, we are actually in the tea time accompaniment kind of a category, and therefore throw in namkeens and throw in other stuff that could be possibly solutions at that stage. You could then take another step up and say, you're actually in the small hunger kind of a space. And therefore now the market definition becomes that much bigger. So even as product brands, we were beginning to sort of think along those lines. But I think as you think about channels or services or programs which are as dynamic and multi-benefit as Prime, those boundaries are blurring. So even from leave aside the plethora of options that customers have, even from a business owner or a brand owner standpoint, you really need to put on your thinking hat and say, hey, what need are we actually catering to? Or what challenge or solution is the customer looking for when she interacts with our service? And I think that's really the dynamic nature in which you want to position yourself in the customer's mind as you try and solve different needs with a single solution.
Do you think loyalty is dropping?
I think with the, if you index it to, hey, I had 4 biscuit brands and I chose one, right? Today I have 40 different solutions to a need and I'm choosing a few. And if I think of it from that kind of an equation, I think loyalty is here to stay, and it possibly is growing.
Growing,
right?
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Great,
so you could take an argument like that, and we've seen that with Prime members, and their repeat behavior with us, not just within a particular vertical, but across the plethora of benefits that a program like Prime offers.
Great. So thanks, Ravi. Now let me go to Kashyap. Same question about growing number, growing choices. Is consumers' brand loyalty strengthening? Is it the same or is it weakening?
Sure. So I think 2 approaches. Firstly, that when you think of this as earlier a customer had 4 choices versus today he has 40 choices, then actually any behavior expressed or displayed when he had 4 choices, that's not loyalty, that's compulsion. Okay, you didn't have enough choices and you were like, so it's not really freedom.
Kashyap, you're coming from a different era. From my era, going from Indian Airlines to Indian Airlines plus jet was a choice, right? But from your era, maybe going 4 is not a choice, 4 is bondage, but 40 is bondage.
Yeah, so I was just using Ravi's numbers. So I think obviously the customer has a lot more choice today, and I'm trying to. So firstly, I think that's one thing playing in my mind, that just because choices improve or choices increase, okay, it doesn't mean the customer is less loyal. I think if you define loyalty as every time the customer has a certain need state, like Ravi was saying, are you in their consideration set? Okay, is that loyalty, or is loyalty that every time you're they're in the need state, they don't consider anybody else and only go straight to you and kind of consummate their transaction with you? So I think if you think of loyalty as in that terms, then I think today the customer has many more choices. But personally, what I'm seeing play out, like for example for us, there are 6 to 7% of customers for us who are 10x more valuable, okay, than 10-15x more valuable than the rest of the people. So I think there is a certain set of customers who value some things beyond the deal or beyond the price. It's the whole experience, like Harish was saying. Whether how easy is it to find products, how easy is it to pay for it, how easy is it to return it if required. And I think when people buy into that philosophy of the organization, I think they tend to display much higher degree of loyalty. Okay. So I think there are deal hunters out there who are potentially flitting between various choices, and there are more choices, so they keep flitting. But then there are people who value the overall experience and the peace of mind and trust which a strong ongoing relationship will give them. And therefore there are people who will kind of display more loyal behavior despite the number of choices. Sometimes the number of choices actually forces them to stay with one person, because you don't know how many of these new people are good, bad, ugly, and do I waste my time trying them out, or do I stick with somebody who's got like a proven relationship with me. So I think the number of choices increasing is driving the deal hunters to hunt for the lowest deal. But the more evolved customers who are valuing stuff which is just beyond the deal into the overall experience, they're displaying more loyal behavior.
Great, Kashyap. I think that's a very good point, where you're saying that it's no longer Pareto's law. It is even more than that, right? I mean, the top 10% is accounting for a large percentage of your top line and profits. And also the fact that, which Ravi said, which you corroborated, that increasing choices is separating the market into 2 broad segments. One is a consumer who's tried out various things and he likes this and therefore he's going to be more loyal to whether Amazon Prime or to Pepperfry or to Myntra. And of course, there are the bottom feeders who are going to be continuously looking for discounts, etc., etc. So I'm now going to pose the same question to Harish with a rider. If this is happening, why do online players, including your company, why are you still offering discounts as a big thing? So one, is customer loyalty strengthening or is it going down? And what are you doing to push it in either way?
Sure. Ambi, first of all, so even 10 years ago, I was doing marketing. I'm not that young. And I think I was working in Gillette, and surprisingly enough, that was also a brand in FMCG space, which was heavy on loyalty. Right? If you buy a Gillette razor, I'm sure we are all guys in this panel. I'm sure each one of us is using a Gillette razor, right? So that is, I would say, even in an FMCG context, it's not a goal that is not worth chasing. But it's tougher, right? You can change brands every single time. Now, coming back to your question, I think I fully agree with what Kashyap was saying and even what Ravi was alluding to. I have a different metaphor, Ambi. The people who are flirting have lots of choices and they can flirt more. The people who are in love are deeply in love and they want to get married. These are our two sets of customers, right? The folks who have still not experienced the full goodness of the platform, or they are just stepping into online purchases in the first place, as what we spoke earlier. I think these customers are still experiencing us for the first time, right? And hence, they are not fully in love yet. When they experience the full range of the platform, then they would not go anywhere else. So that's how I look at it. And is loyalty going down or going up? I would say the folks who are past a certain, in Myntra terms, we call it purchase sequence, number of purchases, they usually tend to stick with us and they are extremely loyal. The ones who are in the early sequence of purchases, they tend to be more experimentative. So our job is to get them across that hurdle point, and then they tend to stick around much longer. Now, if this is the case, then why are we, trying to offer discounts? Why are we trying to do sale events? It is a way to attract new customers, right? Anyways, online, unfortunately or fortunately, the reputation of any online platform today is that it offers a very good value, right? So that has become an expectation. What a platform like Myntra does is it offers the value in conjunction with the more important benefit that we offer, which is the selection, the experience, and so on. So I think each of these big events and all the companies, including our competitors do the same. There will be a spike during a huge event where we'll attract a lot of new customers. And then these customers, then a selection of them who had a great experience and who want to stick with us, then go through the journey of becoming a loyal customer. The rest flirt around, but then they come back for the next one. And eventually we reactivate, we do the reinstall campaigns and whatnot, and then bring them back to the platform. So the way I would say is, because it's such a small penetration market, especially for e-commerce, there's a lot of experimentation. Users are spoiled with choice, which is a great thing. And then they find a place that they really like, and then they become advocates or loyal customers for it. Now, does this apply to FMCG? Does this apply to other categories? I would say it depends, right? The usual, maybe answer, but it actually depends. Because in online commerce, it is possible for us, given the data we have, it is possible for us to go back and speak with these users. But a person now picking up a Gillette razor, I don't know how to speak with him again, right? Or a lady who's buying a Lux soap, I don't know how to speak with her again. So it is tougher in certain situations. It is easier in certain categories. And the ones who who have the data and that makes it easier, we should absolutely leverage it even more.
Great, Harish. In fact, I was wanting to push you guys into answering question about Byron Sharp's hypothesis that brands should not waste their time with loyal customers, and they should only focus their energy on buying, on getting new customers. Only, I mean, everything you do should be to acquire new customers. But obviously, all three of you believe that while that is happening through your funnel, and then you're filtering those, you're sorting out the roughs and the diamonds and getting those diamonds. So I think we are now at the last 3 or 4 minutes of our talk, our panel discussion, sorry. And I wanted to ask the same question to all three of you. Can you, Ravi, and then we'll go to Kashyap and Harish, to say that what are the 3 things you are doing to build stronger customer loyalty?
Let me go back to Amazon's leadership principles and talk about the 3 things that we believe will get us, to where we want to be in this segment in India. I think the number 1 principle that we keep reminding ourselves every day, Ambi, is about customer obsession, right? So we need to understand our we call it the next 100 million customers. We need to understand them, what she needs, how is her need different from today's 100 million who are already online, and sort of figure out ways in which we can evolve our product service offering so that we can meet that need. The second principle I would quote is what we call think big, right? And associated with this whole mantra inside Amazon, that it's still day one. As I said, we are at the very, very beginning of this entire journey, at least in our segment, of moving people from only offline buyers to becoming online consumers. Penetration of the internet is growing, transactions on the internet are growing, and therefore we need to keep reminding ourselves that, while it looks like it's been a busy period for e-commerce in the last 5 years in the country, lots of activity, hyper competition, etc. We are literally at the crack of dawn. It's not even, morning. It's like 12:01 as far as that journey is concerned. So that's probably the second one. And the third is to continuously sort of stay humble and being vocally self-critical in learning from, I wouldn't call them mistakes, but in learning from interventions that didn't necessarily work. Because if you go back and look at them and inspect them closely enough, there is some learning there that will not only help you correct it, but also shape the experience for the next set of customers tomorrow. So, these would be the 3 that come to mind as we look at the next 100 million or the next 100 years for our journey in India.
Great. Thank you, Ravi. That was very well and very aptly put. Now going to Kashyap, what are the 3 things which you are doing, which you'd like to advise other companies to do?
So, I may contradict myself right now, but we are a low frequency category, largely furniture based. I mean, we sell other decor, etc., but furniture is kind of like our focus, and it's fundamentally low frequency. Somebody who, on an average, an Indian, if you use averages, and though real consumer behavior is not like that, does not buy more than 2-3 items of furniture every year. They probably actually buy 15 items in 6 months and then don't buy anything for the next 6-7 years. Or they buy just 1 or 2 more items. So it's actually the behavior is very concentrated and then very spread out. But if you take the average, it is maybe 2-3 opportunities for interacting. So honestly, trying to build loyalty, separately, when you're such a low frequency category, becomes that much tougher. Okay. The second point is when you have high frequency categories, fashion, and obviously large horizontals like Amazon, etc. One of the words that I keep hearing is it becomes habit. Loyalty is because it becomes a habit. I mean, part of their daily lives. Again, when you're talking about an opportunity to win 2-3 times in a year, it's not an opportunity to make an habit. So I believe that the things that we acquire customers for are the same things that we retain them for. Okay. And our challenges are a little unique in the sense that our category is a little non-standardized. There is less information about quality and materials and so on. So we need a tailored kind of a shopping experience to give people the confidence to take that step to spending 40,000-50,000 rupees buying a dining set or a sofa set online. And once they have a great experience overall, and then that's where the rest of the experience takes over. How easy, how easy are the return policies? How do we provide customer service? How is the delivery and installation happening? So for us, we realize that the focus of customers coming back to us has to be on the service aspect that happens subsequent to the purchase on site. Okay, in terms of this is a large item, you can't leave it at the doorstep and go away. You need a specialized delivery mechanism, you need an installation service to go with it, and in case people misjudged, because this is a complex category and it's not a standardized category, let's say like a mobile phone where people know what to expect, in terms of color, shape, sizes, feel, cushion comfort, all of those things. How much trust can you give them that will take care of any experience mismatches that they have? So I think those 2-3 things are relevant when we win a customer and when we retain a customer in a high ticket size, low frequency organization like us. They're the same things.
Okay, thank you, Kashyap. So your battle with customer loyalty is a bit different from the battles with the other gentlemen here are doing. So let me go to Harish to give his 3 mantras for customer loyalty. And he's
I'll actually give you one mantra, Ambi. I'll give you one mantra.
Myntra, whatever you call it.
Yeah, Myntra's mantra. Let's call it that. I think I've said this a few times in my past interactions in the media as well, and it sounds like I sound like a broken record, but actually this is what is working for us. The mantra is be very helpful to our customers, right? When we are helpful to our customers at different moments of truth, when we show up and delight them with something that they did not expect from us, loyalty automatically follows. So I'll give you some examples, right? Whether it is the insider program where we have those tiering, so you can go from one tier to the other based on your experience. Each tier you climb, the experience keeps getting better and better. So if you are at the top end, you might even get things like special privileges to meet your favorite star, or get one-on-one coaching from the stylist of your favorite star, right? When lockdown happened, when we were not an essential platform, right? So we couldn't the previous time when we could not ship anything, we made sure that we'll put out content that is extremely helpful. We started Myntra Studio, which was an engagement platform, which was, you love fashion. Fashion is a discovery category. You want to experience it. You want to see the new colors, trends, and everything, and then buy it. We are also big on beauty, so you want to experience the content. You want to ask questions. So content is a huge piece. When we were not even selling, we made sure that content is very, very strong on the platform. You can come and consume content even if you don't have anything to buy. So at every stage, whether it is during lockdown, during the key moments where you want to dress up for an occasion, you want to go to a shadi, you want to go to your next office presentation, whenever you think of something, if you feel that Myntra is a place where you can get help, then loyalty will automatically follow. That's my one mantra.
Good. So thank you. I think I can see Shika's back. So thank you very much, Ravi, Kashyap, Harish, for your very, very valid views. I came getting ready to get my own head fixed on this whole customer loyalty, and I thought it was all over and it's only about acquisition. But I'm happy to know that some of the old principles of direct marketing are still alive and kicking. While yes, you need to get more customers to come in, but once you get a customer, you do everything you can to hang on to the customer, because quite rightly, the cost of retaining a customer is probably 1/5, 1/10, 1/20th of the cost of acquiring a customer. And you acquire a customer, I think Ravi said it, Harish said it, you're getting a lot of thousands of people through your funnel, but 99 of them are going to go away for the next discount. It's really the 1 or 2 who stay and who then become a valuable customer for you. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us today for this very interesting discussion on customer loyalty, that it is actually growing in spite of multiplying choices, and you guys are doing a great job on building the knowledge base on how to build customer loyalty. So thank you very much. And over to Shika.
Thank you, Ambi. I think you were right. The boys did a fab job along with you. So stay humble, as Ravi says, while Kashyap's battle is sweet and sour, loyalty is indeed a habit. And Harish, we're glad to know how helpful you were to your customers. And Ambi, I have to say this to you. Every conversation thrives when you are, in fact, when we are under your moderatorship. So thank you very, very much for those conversations there, and be safe, be healthy, all of you there. And with that, before we head into the next session and the talk that's coming up, why don't you take a quick tour of the platform? And this time I would ask you to visit the booth of Hitachi Vantara, and this is at the experience zone. If you notice, fill in those feedback forms, get in those extra points that you can, while we'll be back with talking about the data and AI, how they are not the new oil, but the new soil. We'll be right back.